This is the main feature of wrestling, the man with the best hair in the business, the star student of Lance Storm, and I'm Tommy Dreamer's favorite wrestler. This is Rich Maxwell, and you are drinking at Moe's.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkin Mo's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts, they got hoodies, they got beanies, they got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're filling out your order, use the code Drinkin at Moe's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go. Drinkin' Moe's, Big Mo here. As always, you know the drill with YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Helps with that pain in the ass algorithm on the YouTube, although the channel is growing. We are most places you can find audio podcasts too. Today, I'm excited to have with me, if you do not know this man outside of the Midwest, well, damn it, you should. The main feature, Rich Maxwell. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain. Like I mentioned before we started recording, I got some cool stuff coming up. I got, my co-host for my 2 cents stuff. Him and I are planning on being at the Des Moines Revolver Show December 2nd, so that'll be fun. And yeah, I mean, I was at Monday Night Raw back a couple weeks ago now. So I can't complain.
Keeping busy.
Oh yeah, no, but hell, I'm on my way marching towards my 200th interview episode, so I am definitely keeping busy.
Nice, man. Nice. Grinding, as the kids say these days. Always grinding.
Yeah. Grinding like my back and my knees right now.
I feel you there.
Yeah. Hurt my back in the Navy when some scaffolding fell on me, and then, here I am.
Yeah. That's funny. I hurt my back carrying Duke Cornell. Ho!
Yeah. You know what? I was gonna bring them up a little later, but first thing I want to start off with before we get into him, what got you started as a fan, and then what made you decide to make the leap into the business?
I guess I always remember wrestling being on as a kid. I used to watch, like, my dad kind of got me hooked on wrestling when I was really young, and then I used to always watch it with my grandparents, and it's kind of what I've always wanted to do. So I had always planned on being in wrestling and running wild in the biz, as they say, Briz. But after I did the whole college thing and was going to play college football, and then I kind of decided I'd rather drink some beers and chase some skirts, so I decided to not do that. And after college was done, I kind of, what's next, right? So I just was like, all right, well, it's time to get into wrestling. So that's when I packed up all my stuff.
I've been known to, without really putting a parental advisory on episodes.
Oh, okay.
I let it fly. There's a reason they, the whole swearing like a sailor thing. I'm a Navy veteran, so I kind of live it.
Right. Yeah. So I packed up all my shiz and moved to God's country, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And that's where Lance Storm trained me, and I got into the wrestling business officially.
Nice. Now, that's a good story. I mean, I know my getting into watching wrestling, I hear people talking about their dads or their moms or somebody. It was like I think I stumbled on it watching it with my now late uncle, and I remember specifically after my dad took me to my first WWE show, he talked about thinking that I was going to grow out of it after that. And I'm like, nope.
Right. Yep. That's what everyone says, right? Usually.
Oh, yeah. Now, you, like I said, I was going to leave this part to the next thing, but you know what? We're going to start off with it now. You've kind of gone all over the Midwest and joining up with, well, a good friend of mine, a guy you mentioned you carried, Duke Cornell. I remember, I think this was where I first ran into you, was down here in Omaha at Magnum, joining up with him as a part of that snake pit.
Yeah. That's that was many moons ago already. It was a fun run. It was a fun ride. I think that definitely kind of helped elevate me. I think it kind of brought Nitro up a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Seto Cabarro really kind of came into the fold with that too, and I think it helped elevate Duke too. I think is I joke earlier about carrying him, but that dude's so talented, and it's
Totally.
funny. It's not even no. I don't think anybody's actually used him anywhere near his fullest extent yet. So if and when somebody realizes like, okay, let's just strap the old rocket here, it'll be a good thing for everyone involved.
Oh, most definitely. I know. God dang, I'm trying to remember how long I've known him, but yeah, common thing whenever he comes up is like, especially in our area here, is one of the better like the people that haven't been signed yet to some big contract, because he has that mind for wrestling that's like, good lord, if you, like you said, strap that rocket to him, he's gonna do amazing things.
Right. Yeah. He's wise, creative. Yeah. All the stuff you'd want. Strong, athletic, looks cool. Looks cool. Got that sweet Shawn Michaels voice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he was one of the people that actually came out to my wedding. We were, well, hell, another guy that we both know, a mutual friend of ours, Brandon Juarez, Donnie Pepper Cricket, whatever you want to call him as. He was actually the best man at my wedding, and we were getting ready for this. Oh, they had this thing at the Bellevue Berry Farm where we got married at, and all of a sudden we're pulling away on this thing, and I see uh Duke walking up and waving. I'm like, oh, hey.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
no, yeah, because I was kind of worried there for a little bit, because he had a promo for a show that was either the day before or the day after. And I'm like, well, shit, are you gonna be there? And then he came up to me before show like a month or so ahead of time. It was like, I'm gonna be there. So I'm like, okay, you tell me you're gonna be there, I'm not gonna worry about it.
Perfect.
Oh yeah. And then hell, another, going on tangent here, story I have on him. I actually got to be a special guest ring announcer for a match of his one time up at the now defunct Fully Loaded Wrestling,
Oh
did,
yeah.
when they did a show up in Fargo. I remember the promoters were hearing
Was
about
that the
me.
last show? Was that the last show that they
I
ran?
don't I don't think it was. It was a tag team turmoil show.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was gonna say, I think I was at their last show.
You know what? You might have been because I definitely remember hearing about that one. But they were telling me that since I was making the drive from Omaha to Fargo by myself, what did did I want to be special guest ring announcer for that match? I'm like, you're telling me I get to be in the ring with a microphone? Yes, please.
I'll take it.
Absolutely. I'm not turning that down. Now,
Yeah.
now today, some of the last times I've seen you down here, a little bit different of a in-ring persona from the old snake pit days, kind of reminding me of well, hell, they just got the news just broke as of recording this that total nonstop action's coming back, and the in-ring persona you have now kind of reminds me of the old Team Canada from back then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty easy, right? I was trained
Mm,
by one of the best Canadian wrestlers ever. Like
mm,
I hung
it
out with,
fits.
yeah, I hung while I was in Calgary. I hung out with Tyson Kidd and all the guys up there. So
Yeah.
kind of only makes sense, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now,
Team Team Canada. What what were they? Were they? Yeah, they were Team Canada, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now I think it was now one of the guys that was the manager of Team Canada, Scott Demore, is now president of the company now, and he's the one that made the official announcement that TNA wrestling's back. Which
Yeah.
I know for me, I was kind of like, okay, they're changing the name again, but
Right.
then I'm like, if they are going to like that attitude that TNA had back in, oh God, the days of when it was the triple threat between Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Christopher Daniels. They go back to that attitude. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm proud. I'm going to get a little excited here.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's uh I mean, for the most part, it's kind of just semantics, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's still like, no matter what you want to call them, for the last, 2, 3 years, they've really done really great business. They've
Oh
done
yeah.
their shows are great. They have a lot of great talent. They bring it. They have a bunch of new guys. They have some established guys. They tour. They do really great shows, pay per views. Like their shows
Yeah.
make sense. It's not a bunch of stupid crap loaded into a what's the proverbial saying, a 5 pound bag with 10 pounds of crap in it. Like
Yeah.
there's everything is digestible. They only have one show a week. It's 2 hours. It's like the perfect amount for wrestling. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
everything they do so far since the new ownership and, like you said, Scott Moore has taken over, everything they've done so far has made sense. Like they might as
Oh,
well, go out of the box and try something different, see what happens.
true. True.
And I think the way wrestling is that everyone is so, it's Pavlov's dog, right? Like everyone's like so trained that like a wrestling promotion or whatever, their letters, whatever three it is, it's alphabet soup, right? So when you
Yeah.
have Impact Wrestling, it's a little odd to be like, who do you work for? I work for. It sounds like it's a, I don't know. That's their show, right? It's TNA
Yeah.
Impact. So I think that's probably what they'll go back to, and marketing wise, it might be, a little easier to kind of merchandise that as opposed to just
Yeah.
Impact. So I don't know. We'll see what they do. Or maybe it's just all a giant, you know, all a giant ploy to get one pay-per-view out of it just to see what they can do for a buy rate.
That would be interesting. But yeah, I I can kind of agree with a lot of what you just said. I've said it for a while now that TNA Impact, whatever you want to call them now, since I guess they're changing the name again in like January, whenever the hell Hard to Kill is. I've said it for a while that they are like their show is criminally underrated. Like people always think of the two bigger ones with WWE. I mean, obviously they've been around the longest, or AEW. You don't really hear Impact getting talked along those lines, but they like if they had the TV deal that you know WWE or AEW has, I have full confidence they'd be giving everybody a run for their money.
Yeah, I mean, and all their shows they draw well. They're smart with how they do it. They don't. They know what they are. They know what their niche is. They have their audience. They don't go and try and run 10,000-seat arenas. Everything that they do on TV, it looks good. It's well lit. It's the audience is there. They're interactive. The wrestlers
Yeah.
are great. Like it's just they have the formula down. So now let's just add some gasoline to the fire and see if we can't build off of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And two places that I mean, one of them I was kind of excuse me, I love my Dr. Pepper, but it gives me the burps like crazy. Two places that Impact talent has gone that I was somewhat surprised because I guess I hadn't really heard of you being at this one. House of Hardcore. Like I remember seeing a couple shows there, and what was that like for you? Because I don't believe, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that they're still he's still running those shows right now.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think when the pandemic hit, I think that's when Dreamer kind of decided, I think House of Hardcore might have seen its last run. I think after he might have ran like 2 or 3 in Philly or something like that. But as far as a touring brand, no, I don't think it's been around since then.
Yeah, because I remember I was somewhat excited when I heard about it because I'm like, okay, Tommy Dreamer having this promotion, this could be exciting. And I would hear his philosophy behind running the shows. I'm like, okay, this seems like something easy enough to get behind.
Yeah, no, they were fun shows. It was, like he ran a good product. Like he was easy to work for. Like I like Tommy. I mean, for the longest time, and I still think it's probably true. He won't admit it, but I think I'm his favorite pro wrestler. And that's just the way it is. But yeah, no, House Hardcore's are great. The first one I wrestled Eugene, tore the house down, as he would say, had him hanging and banging from the rafters, brother. Couldn't sell another ticket. Butts were full every 18 inches. And then the second one in Nashville was the last show where they ran at the original Nashville Fairgrounds. I wrestled a Hornswoggle there, and that little bastard cheated to beat me. But no, they were good, man. They were fun, like good shows, good crowds, lots of talent, and it was always cool to see, the mix of, guys from Impact at the time, or I mean, technically Ring of Honor guys were there too, and then like just some legends. Or it was always fun. I have kind of a funny story. I actually have a bunch of stories, but I think you might appreciate this one. So after the second House of Hardcore, I was actually going to do another house. I was going to end up doing, when I talked to Tommy after the second one, he had me planned for 2 more in the Northeast. And then something happened and I didn't get out there. I don't remember what it was. But anyways, after the Nashville House of Hardcore, I was on first, and after the match was over, I was changing everything, and Nunzio, little Guido, walks up to me and he's like, hey man, you got any oil? Can I borrow some baby oil? And I didn't have baby oil. I was like, I don't have any. And he's like, what do you mean? It looks like you're covered in oil. I was like, yeah, it's just sweat. I just wrestled. It's not actually oil. So I think he thought I was just hoarding the oil from him and wasn't going to share. But I was like, I don't know what to tell you, Guido. I guess I'm just a match. Like the lights out there are hot. Like I guess I don't know what to say.
That was a good one because
Yeah.
some people, I've helped set up for different shows before, and I definitely seen some people slathering on the baby oil before the show starts. So
Right.
I can see, especially after being out in those hot lights, how it might seem like somebody has some on when it's just
Right.
sweat.
Right. And this like building was old, and decrepit. Like there was no air conditioning and it's Tennessee and it's the middle of the summer. So it's hotter than balls out. So like, it was just like a perfect mix. But yeah. So I'm not sure if I don't think we have any heat over that, but it was just like real awkward. I'm trying to be like nice to the veteran guy, but I was like, I don't have any, so I can't fulfill your request. And I don't want you to think I'm lying to you because I'm not, but I can see how it might look like I am. So it was a
Oh,
real, yeah. So I'll remember that story forever.
no, I'm gonna remember that one for a while now myself. Now another place that I saw a picture of you at, because it also involved that mutual friend of ours, Brandon Juarez, at I believe it was Wrestling Revolver. You guys alongside Dan the Dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
That,
I don't know if I actually got to watch that show, but like, were you actually involved in the show, or was this like a just a goofy backstage picture sort of thing?
no, they had the funnest match ever, right? That's was
Oh, yeah.
the tagline. So they all had special entrances, and I was one of I've known Dan for a while. Like, well, I mean, I guess it depends on what your term of a while is. I was at a Ring of Honor tryout with him in Baltimore in 2019. I've known him a little bit before then, but yeah, I've known him for a while. So he had a special entrance in mind, and like we were chit chatting, and he mentioned that he had the entrance in mind to Donnie, and then so we all kind of know each other. So we donned the short khakis and the obscenely tight T-shirt and the ball caps, and we're part of his all dad's entrance.
Okay, that explains it. But man, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one, because I actually had Matthew Palmer on shortly before that show, and he was talking about that and the tagline. He's like, "Man, there's something about having to live up to the
Right? Yeah.
tagline."
The fun. How you're going to be the funnest matchup? Yeah. Anytime a match gets a tagline, it's just like basically a death sentence for the guys in the match.
But those two sound like I've got to meet both of them at different occasions, but they both seem to me like guys that, they very well could pull off something along those lines to fit
Yeah.
the tagline.
Yep. Definitely.
Now, I have two categories here. One's a bit of a name game where I try to theme it towards the guest as much as possible. And, you've at least shared a locker room with them, if not been in the ring with them. And you give me some quick thoughts on the person.
Okay.
First one, guy behind House of Hardcore, Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, I've wrestled Tommy. I've worked for him, and I've been on shows with Tommy in Wisconsin, Tennessee, Georgia, South Dakota, North Dakota. Maybe one more, like 5 or 6 states. But I like Tommy. He's always cool to me. I would like to wrestle him again. He's ducking me. So if he ever sees that, Thomas, you owe me a rematch.
We'll have to tag him when the episode releases. Tag him in the post because hell, maybe he'll end up watching and have to have a response there.
Oh yeah. Oh, Kentucky. I wrestled at OVW when he was there one night. And the only thing that reminded me of that is because that was the first time I met him, I think. OVW, yeah. And he called afterwards when I met him, he said I remind him of Randy Savage. So he usually called me Macho Man Guy. And that's kind of ironic. That's what reminded me of that. So
nice.
yeah.
He was actually the first ever active WWE guy that I ever met. Like, I was with my dad in New York City when they still had the WWE New York restaurant, and we went to a SmackDown watch party, and he happened to be the wrestler there that night. And
Nice.
I'll get it out. Part of my collection back there. I actually have the glass from there.
Ah, nice. Was that from the gift shop or did you drink it and stash it when you left?
As part of my order,
you got to keep the drink.
I got to keep it.
Oh, gotcha. Good. Or that's at least what you want us to think, right?
No, I can verify it. My dad actually still has his down at my parents' house.
Nice. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I heard the food there was ass.
Yeah. Overpriced for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're paying for the experience, right?
For the most part, yeah, I think that was pretty much how it went.
Yeah.
One of those places, like, oh God, I don't even know if they still have any of these out, like the Hard Rock Hotel, the Hard Rock Days and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I've gotten, hell, one of my things, speaking of there, on my deployment, everywhere I went that had a Hard Rock Cafe, I went there and got a shirt from all of them.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that would be fun to do.
Like, I got them from like Singapore, Thailand. Oh, I'm trying to remember where else, but a whole shitload of places.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, the next person, little backstory here, you might not have shared a locker room with this guy, but you ended up getting an award a while back from this guy's brother, Cody Rhodes. Now, the guy that I'm going to mention, and maybe we can get into some stories about Cody too, Cody's brother, Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever met Dustin. I would like to wrestle him. I don't know. I know for the longest time, well, it seems like a couple years now, he's been teasing retirement. So I don't know how much longer he's planning on being active. But
yeah,
if he wants to sneak one in and get pushed to the limit, the main feature is not hard to find. But nothing but respect for Dustin. He's a good dude. He was partners for a little while with the Natural Nightmares with QT Marshall, who also was one of my trainers. So yeah, who is, you mentioned underrated and like earlier, like QT's probably, and I'm glad he's getting his shine now in Mexico, and he just looks like he's having a lot of fun and he's great. But QT is on another level. People don't even understand how good and how smart that guy is. Like it's ridiculous. He makes everything look so easy. It's funny. I actually a month or so ago I had a match and I borrowed something of his and I had it gift and I sent it to him and I was like, yep, still works, just because. But yeah, no, he's awesome. Anyone that is in wrestling that wants to get better, that's the guy that you should go see in some capacity.
Oh yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about his learning from him, and training. And, we kind of mentioned, like I said, about what was it like with the award from Cody? Because I've seen the picture of you with him. What was that like getting that recognition from a guy like him?
It was cool, man. It was a fun weekend. So it was like basically just a giant camp that before, like, this was kind of when Cody was like, this is before it became the Nightmare Factory. It was just mostly QT and Glacier's school, One Fall Factory. And then Cody was kind of coming in because Cody and QT were friends through Ring of Honor. And like, it was just like a weekend camp with like Les Thatcher was there, Dr. Tom, Kevin Kelly was there, and then QT, of course. And it was just like, you know, 2 days of drills and wrestling and promos, and just it was, kind of like any, PC tryout or whatever you want to call it would be like. And then at the end of that, we ran a show, and then everyone just picked a male winner and a female winner, and that's I was fortunate enough to be selected, and that's what got me sent to my Ring of Honor tryout. And then the female that won, Shalandra Royale, she ended up, when she won, she ended up getting to go sing the national anthem at All In, because All In was next weekend. So yeah, it was pretty cool, man.
Oh yeah, definitely pretty awesome. Now,
Yeah, it was fun.
No, I can only imagine. Next person on the list, we kind of mentioned you had a match with him at House of Hardcore, but that little man Swoggle. I about mispronounced that name there.
Yeah. No, he was cool. I don't have any issue with him. Like, the match was fun. He was happy with it. It was, I didn't, I don't know. It was fun. He was cool. I was at his, he has a promotion. I've been to his promotion. I haven't worked
there
for
in
him.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, ACW. They do a lot. They do really great shows. Like, they have a lot of fun. I was up there with Eugene. I haven't worked for him yet, but I would like to. They got a lot of good guys. Swoggle's up there. Joey Jet Avalon. That guy's good. I wouldn't mind wrestling Joey, the Jet, whatever state he wants it to be in. Fellow Packers fan. We could roll it up and roll it down.
Oh yeah. I think I ended up getting a picture with Joey the Jet there at that last Magnum show, with the big cage match.
Yeah.
That was actually my first ever cage match I got to watch live in person.
Nice.
So I was pumped for that show. Now, let's see here. Last but not least for this category, the guy behind Wrestling Revolver, Sami Callihan.
Yeah, Sammy's cool. He's creative, really freaking creative, right? He's, he's passionate. He loves wrestling. He was at, I've met Sam, like, I've been around and like met Sammy probably 7 or 8 times at this point. I think was he at both the House Hardcores I was at? I think
he was at least one from what I saw.
Yeah, for sure at one, because he was a lot of fun being around, because he was in NXT when Eugene was one of the coaches. So like those guys were kind of like shooting shit, and it was like fun to hear their stories. So, and he had a really good match with, who did he wrestle that night? Willie Mack.
Match
that night. Mack. Yeah. And then like he usually went 3XW in Des Moines. They try to kind of piggyback off Revolver, and if Sammy's in town, he always comes to the 3XW shows. And
I've heard that he often ends up popping up at those.
Yeah. So he's a good guy. Like, once again, it's a common theme here, man. Like, he's got to get in the ring with the main feature, though. He might be the draw. He might be the draw. Like, that's fine. Callahan Death Machine. Let's rock chalk Jayhawk this up, buddy. Like, get in the ring. Let's go. Revolver, December 2nd. Like, I'll clear my schedule. Let's put the boots on, Sammy. You're free agent. You can do whatever you want now.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah. Free agent
let,
right now, man.
let,
He's
let me let's see what we got. Like you test me out, Sammy. Come
well,
on.
that would be a match I wouldn't mind seeing.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because yeah, those revolver shows are like a damn party the whole freaking
Right.
time.
Yeah. Yep. They definitely are. My last month was my first one. Was it or whenever it was September, I think that was the first one I was actually at because you know living in 3 states in 4 years and just being all over like I
Yeah.
haven't scheduling, but that worked out. So yeah, no, it was a good time, man.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Hell, I'm trying to think. Two, four, six of the signed figures I got up behind me were from going to those shows. Like
Nice,
the Swerve and Keith Lee ones, I got them signed the same night as my Rich Swan one, and like they weren't out for the meet and greet that Revolver has before the shows, so I was a little bummed. But then I turn around and like less than 2 feet behind me at the end of the show, there's Rich Swan. So I'm like, oh shit, got that one.
nice,
And then I go out to the parking lot, walking out to my car, still a little bummed. I see somebody filming a promo down the parking lot. I get a little closer and boom, it's Swerve. And then
nice,
I asked him if Keith Lee had left already. And it's like, oh no, he's still in there. So boom, I got that one signed
nice.
when he
That's
walked
awesome.
out. And then yeah, Kushida, John Morrison, and Ty Valkyrie all from those shows. Yeah, I try as much as possible to keep at least the ones for people that are still alive in the box in case I get the chance to meet any of them.
Right.
And
Cool, man.
I've been lucky. I've been lucky.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, this next category, I have some kind of random questions. Some might be wrestling related, some might not be. You give me the first answer that pops into your head when you hear the question.
Like one word or a
Oh, it
sentence
don't
or
have to
what?
be one. It don't have to
Okay.
be one word. Most of these probably a couple sentences at least.
Okay.
First one of the few that I like to keep in here as much as possible because I love hearing the damn stories. Craziest in match moment for you?
um, crazy as in scary, crazy as in whoa, like
Any of them?
yeah.
Because hell, I've heard a bunch. I've heard one involving New Jack, where him and the guy that told the story ended up going through a wall, and Paul Heyman yelled at him afterwards.
Who told that one?
Lloyd Anoa'i.
Oh, huh. That's cool. Um, I ain't got anything that's gonna top that. Um, oh shoot. I guess I don't know that I have one. I got kind of a couple like little ones maybe that
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine.
uh one was what it was crazy to me in the sense of like it was like a wrestling light bulb moment for me,
Mm,
right?
okay.
Uh when I wrestled Shane Helms, Hurricane, right in the match, he always kind of does this thing, right, where he'll drop down, and then he gets up and what's up with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we were doing that, when I'm running the ropes, he was dropping down at a speed that I wasn't used to relative to other people that I wrestle. So for me, that was kind of like a light bulb moment and a crazy moment in the sense of, oh, this is what that next level's at, right? So that one is kind of crazy for me. Um, Another crazy one in the sense that was a fun one was I wrestled Billy Gunn and we wrestled for like 48 minutes
Oh boy.
and we didn't like we didn't touch for the first 20 of the match. And it was literally, bell rings, whatever, like just there's pose off. And before we even touched, we got, this is awesome. Holy shit. Chuck, Billy Gunn, suck it. Like, I got all the shit that I usually get, Canada's like hoser. People call me that all the time. It's, no, fuck, I'm not a hoser. Rogaine, which doesn't even make any logical sense, doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't, it was nuts, man. It like, I have it, it's on YouTube. I don't know if it's been suppressed or deleted or not, but that was a really fun match. And also in that match, Billy Gunn is the largest human being ever created.
He does, yeah. He looks cool.
So when he picked me up, I felt like a small child just being carried around, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was pretty crazy. And then I guess the another one, going back to Brother Duke earlier, was he and I almost won the OVW tag team titles. That was, yeah, I'm not going to go into any detail on that necessarily, but I'm sure, ask him about it. I'm sure he'll tell you about it.
Oh, yeah. Next time I see him, and hell, I actually got to re-record his episode because I made the mistake of not reminding my wife that I was going to be recording after a show. And she tried calling me a few times and the audio got messed up on the...
Oh, yeah. The worst.
Yeah.
Women, right?
No. Yeah. But two crazy moments I remember personally witnessing. One involved, again, Brandon Juarez during Magnum's Piggy in the Bank ladder match. For those that might not know of it, it's basically their Money in the Bank. And they had a ladder bridge between, well, they actually had guardrails at the time, but it was between the ring apron and the guardrail. And I see Brandon with a guy on his back, kind of like Sheamus's White Noise, with the head underneath one arm and the legs up here. And I see him looking down at the ladder, and I'm like, oh, God, no. Ladder folds.
Huh.
And I'm like, oh, God.
You remember what year that was?
Oh, God. I feel bad. I can't even remember. I believe it was when they were still running shows at the side room at the Ralston Arena.
Ralston, yeah.
It was one of those. And
yeah,
then
Magnum's afraid to put me in the Piggy in the Bank because they know I'll win it.
Yeah, I was going to say this last time, their first show back after the unfortunate passing of Jason Strife. Yeah, I don't remember you being in that one.
No, I've never been in it.
Well,
I've only been in one ladder match, and ironically enough, it was a similar Money in the Bank thing, right? And when you know who won the pony, ask Nitro about that one.
No, I will have to do that. But yeah, the other crazy match I remember seeing was actually my first ever legit death match at Revolver. Jake Chris versus Joel Bateman. And it ended by them taking 4 folding chairs, bridging 2 panes of glass on there. And then I see Bobby Olson, Jake's right-hand man, rolling in. I'm like, what the hell is he pulling out of his pocket? Lighter fluid. They lit the glass on fire.
Ow.
Yeah. And I actually got to talk to both of them after the match.
Ow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
Now, yeah, I love hearing about it. Like, I was about to tell somebody in a recording once of that moment. He was like, oh, I remember actually watching that show, because they were watching on like Fight TV or something.
Right.
Now, speaking of that, what is a match type that you would say is a no-go for you, if you had the choice?
All of them. I don't know. Money talks, right? I don't know that.
That's what they say.
I don't know that I would be real amped to do a death match. I wouldn't necessarily rule it out, but just not really for me.
Yeah, it wouldn't be your first choice.
No, I mean I've had hardcore matches, ladder matches, strap matches. Strap match sucks. I promise.
I can imagine.
Iron Man match that sucks in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just anything with glass, just stuff like it's just not my bag, man. Like I said, money talks. And maybe
Yeah.
if the story was right, if the person was right. I don't know. Situations are situational, right?
No, I get it. Now, this next question, I would feel weird if I didn't have this in here with a name of the show, like Drinking at Moe's. Favorite drink, whether it be alcoholic or non, or hell, you can name one of each.
What do I drink? Favorite alcoholic beverage is probably a margarita.
That I can always go for one of those myself.
Yeah, so I like tequila, but I don't really drink that often anymore. I'm a big
Surprisingly enough, I don't either. But
yeah.
I have a couple bottles of either Casamigos or the Rock's Terramana that like you put that stuff in a margarita.
Right, yeah. Terramana's good. Yeah, Terramana is really good. I do like Terramana. I don't know that I really have a favorite. Like I don't know. I just drink water, Gatorade. I don't really drink pop. I drink energy drinks. I usually have one energy drink a day. My favorite energy drink is Bang Miami Cola, and it sounds like that might be discontinued. So if any of your followers or listeners have a hookup on where I can get that, shoot them my way, please.
Damn, I hope they don't have that discontinued because shit, I wouldn't mind trying that one myself.
Yeah, I like that one.
Hey, all right. Now, I kind of asked some of my former guests versions of this question, but I put it in my notes as fuck it money. If you like won some huge lottery jackpot and basically had some fuck it money, you're like, you know what? I've always wanted this.
Right.
What would be one of the first things you got?
Like wrestling wise, or just to buy for myself?
To buy for yourself.
Oh, oh, house, a new house, probably, right?
Okay.
A couple, a few houses, real estate, some sort of business that I could just own and pay people to work for me and just make passive income on the side.
Hey, all right.
I'd probably run a buku wrestling show that doesn't make any money but has a bunch of sick matches on it.
Okay.
I don't know. I do a lot of you know what I would want it depending on the like if we want a Powerball, that's what you're talking about, right? I've always thought this would be cool. And people don't have to believe that I think this would be cool. I don't care, but I always thought it'd be cool if I had, say you win $1 billion or right. Like I could never spend that much freaking money. So I think it'd be cool. You pick like you go to a bank, right? And you just tell them I'm going to pay 20 random people's mortgage off. And you just pay off 20 random people's mortgage. So like you have, say you win $1 billion after taxes, you're probably looking at, okay, conservatively $500 million. you how are you going to spend $500 million? Like, if you spend $10 million paying off 20 people's mortgages, that's a drop in the bucket for you, and that could be life changing for them. So like, I always
Yeah,
thought that'd be cool. I
that
always thought
that
that,
that would be kind of cool. I
yeah,
I can agree to that.
yeah.
I, oh, go ahead.
No, that's
Oh,
I don't really. I don't know. I'm a pretty simple individual, so I don't really
oh yeah.
like. I mean, I don't really need a bunch of cars, or like, I'm not like, I mean, I used to have a motorcycle. Like, maybe I'd get a motorcycle, but I don't know. you know.
No, I get you there. I know for me, I would. Okay, I've never been to a wrestling pay-per-view of any kind. I've always wanted to, but just never have been able to get around to it. So I'd probably end up going to one.
Right. Yeah, that'd be
I
fun.
know, I know. I've only ever on deployment. We anchored off of Japan for a while. Not many people actually got to go on shore, but I wouldn't mind getting to take a trip over there and go to like a Wrestle Kingdom or something.
Right. Yeah. No, that'd be fun. Yeah, I would probably do all that stuff too, right? The backpacking through Europe tours, like go to Japan, go all over the Australia. I trained with guys in Australia. I'd love to go to Perth. Like, I always want to go deep sea fishing, like swim with
Go to
sharks.
no
You know,
that. Go to the Crocodile Hunters Zoo.
right? Yeah, there would be plenty of shit you could do that you like just don't think of until you
Yeah,
have the money to do it. Like, I would love to go watch like a Lakers game courtside. You know,
that would be epic.
I would probably go to all sorts of go to a Yankees Red Sox. I'm not even a baseball fan, and I would go to that.
Oh yeah. I oh god, so many things. Although one that surprises some people for me that I think some people think I'm crazy, but if you've ever been to the Omaha Zoo, they have that Kingdoms of the Night exhibit, and there's that part where it's like you're walking over a boardwalk on a swamp, and then
Yep.
there's that area where all those gators are.
Yep.
I would build me one of those.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been there a few times. Last time I was there, I don't know if they still have it or not. They had an albino gator.
They still got that one.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The thing crazy about that area right there before we move on, they actually periodically have different events where the lights are on because it's at night. They try to during the day have the lights off so the animals think it's nighttime, but
Right.
when everybody's not there they have the lights on. I've actually been there with the lights on, and you actually see just how many gators they actually have in there. Holy shit.
Yeah.
More than you think.
Yeah, I believe it.
All right. Now, best advice for anybody wanting to get into wrestling.
Um, One, get in shape. That I'm not saying you got to look like Lex Luger, right? But
Yeah.
get in some sort of cosmetic and cardiovascular condition. And two, go to like a reputable school. Like, this is one of my pet peeves that always annoys the hell out of me. It's like, people will post, wherever they're from. I'm from, I don't know, pick a state that I don't know anybody in right now, so I don't offend anybody. Montana. I'm in Okajablomi, Montana. Does anybody know of a good wrestling school within 2 hours of Okajablomi, Montana? No, nobody knows that. So this thing, we all have these things, right? Technology
Mm-hmm.
is our friend. It's real easy to Google wrestling schools, and like, if you really care about it, if it's something you actually want to do, grow a set of nuts and move and go to a good wrestling school.
Yeah.
Like I'm not just saying that because I did that. I'm saying that because it's logical, right? Like if you're, you know, trying to go to NASA, and where are you going to go get your master's degree from if you have choices? Are you going to go to MIT or Harvard, or are you going to go to freaking Buena Vista College? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I just that drives me nuts when I see that, especially because it's not hard to find. Like, and
Oh yeah.
if you have to try and do like, oh, I'm looking for this. Is there any suggestions? Like, you're not looking hard enough, or you just don't care enough. And if you don't care enough at that spot, like, guess what? There's a lot of traveling and wrestling. It's not gonna get any freaking easier.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I would say.
Oh, most definitely. And it isn't like when growing up, when it seemed like the wrestling schools were kind of way more spread out than they are now. Right now, it seems like no matter what part of the country you're in, within you might have to move a few hours away, but more often than not, there's a reputable school in just about every part of the country. I mean, you go out
Right.
east,
Yeah.
there's plenty. Going out towards the Great Lakes, there's plenty. Down in Texas, you go out to California, they got some great ones out there. Santino
Oh yeah.
Brothers, all sorts of
Right.
ones, all throughout. I'm very familiar with Santino's. I even talked about getting the head guy over there, Joey Chaos, on because I actually got to meet him on a handful of occasions when I was stationed down in San Diego. They're
Nice.
just all over the country, no matter where you are. Yeah, you might have to move, but it's one of those things that you don't want to be in one of those rinky-dink schools that you always hear about, the guy just basically taking your money, or being like one particular guy that is pretty much blackballed everywhere between Lincoln and Omaha here, claiming he's a wrestler, but I witnessed him ref a last man standing match, and you and I both know the rules there. If the guy is down and getting attacked, the count stops.
Right.
The guy kept counting.
Yeah.
And I literally at one point just screamed, I could do your job better than you.
Right. Yeah,
So yeah,
that's
just
bad.
getting reputable training. Well, you might have to move is not that really that hard to find.
No, it's not difficult. It's like, if you want to be, if you're leaving high school to go to be a college quarterback somewhere, and Peyton Manning puts on a camp that you could go to, and you might have to travel for it, or you could go to the kid from your freaking high school that's the high school legend, right? Who are you gonna
Yeah.
go to?
Oh, you're going to Manning.
Right. Whoa. Did you see that? Did that help? I don't. It's getting dark. I don't want to.
It's getting a little
Is that
dark, but
spook?
nah, yeah, you're fine.
Oh, it's spooky.
A little bit at first. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it ain't that hard to do. But before we go, because that is about all I have for tonight, where can people find you social media wise? So if they don't already have their eyes on the main feature, they can go ahead and get them there.
Rich Maxwell on YouTube. I do plan on. I've kind of been slacking on my socials lately, but I'm working. I got some stuff in the works to get those revamped. So definitely the next couple months into the new year, I'll have all that revamped. So yeah, definitely check me out, Rich Maxwell on YouTube, and then it's 2B_Rich on Instagram and X. And I don't have a threads yet. I might get it. I might not. I don't know, but it'll probably be that. And then just Rich Maxwell on Facebook as well.
All right, we'll get all that in the description. But that is about all I have. I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight. And best of luck out there with all the shows you got coming up.
Cool, man. Yeah. Where are we at? I don't have much the rest of the year. Honestly, I'm kind of taking it easy a little bit, and I think a lot of shows are taking it easy. But um, Black Friday, November 25th, I think November 25th,
Yeah, I think that's about it.
25th, 26th, Black Friday, Steel Domain Wrestling with Bram Thomas Lattimore, former NWA
Ooh.
superstar, will be there. It's in Minnesota, St. Paul, I believe.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Check my socials for that. It'll be up there. But yeah, go if you're in the area. Come check that out. Steel Domain always puts on great shows. I haven't lost at Steel Domain this year, and I plan on keeping that winning record alive. And it'll just be a matter of time before I get their championship. And if Black Friday, if Thomas Lattimore steps at me too wrong, I might just take his championship too.
Hey, all right. Well,
All right.
that is about it. Thank you again.
Have a good one, man.